Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to, of course, another match preview show. The last game of the season at Anfield, of course, and of course, the last home game for a few Liverpool legends. Of course, we'll be speaking all about that in tonight's episode, of course. But we are, of course, also going to talk about Liverpool v Aston Villa, of course. Still plenty up for grabs for both teams, of course. Liverpool hoping to get Champions League football. Still it's that slight glimmer of hope, but I think we all know now what Liverpool's fate will be at the end of the season. But of course, still, even for Aston Villa, they're still chasing down a Conference League place at the moment. So again, obviously, like I said, there is still plenty to fight for this season for both teams. Anyway, but let me know. Excuse me. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, and of course, if there's anything that you guys have seen or anything that I've mentioned in tonight's episode, then of course leave your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. But let's get straight into the chat as well. Obviously, if you're new around here as well, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well, and of course, please hit the notification bell as well to remind yourselves of when we go live or post a video. Anyway, but Brian's in. I know Brian was in earlier as well, saying evening Connor as well. Mark's in as well. Good evening, fellas. Saying evening, guys. Hope everyone is well. Mark says so. Hearing mixed talk of them maybe adding an extra team into joining the top tier in Europa Cup, no European Cup, sorry. 5 go up instead of 4, but don't know how true that is. Yeah, I've seen something on the lines of it. Again, I'm not particularly sure um, on it personally. Again, I'm still intrigued to see how this new system works next season or next year on. Um, Again, I think UEFA might refer back to you know the thing that we've got currently right now, maybe in like 2-3 years time, after they change it. But again, that's for the here and now anyway. But doing grand thanks Connor as well, and Rob's in as well, saying looks like fate has Nunes is out, Bobby is fit as well. Yeah, no, yeah, Darwin is out injured. We will of course speak more on that as well. Yeah, Darwin has a was it an infected toe? No, infected. I think it was a bruised toe, but it's a painful one. So he's gonna. I think he might be even out for the Southampton game potentially. But of course, we have another week to prepare for that as well. Anyway, and Mark also saying, yeah, felt that was planned as well. Yeah, absolutely. As well. Anyway, but of course, we'll take a quick look. Anyway, of course, obviously we're going to speak obviously a bit on Aston Villa now. Anyway, but taking a look at the recent games between both teams as well, between Liverpool and Villa. Of course, pretty close. Obviously, Liverpool winning, all the times. But they, of course, I think since they beat us 7-2 at Villa Park, I think Liverpool have won every single game since. So again, good record against Villa as well. But again, very very close games. And again, that's what I expect from Villa for tomorrow. It's going to be a close game. Again, I'll quickly scroll up on the table there on the right hand side that you guys can see. If I can quickly move this out of the way, it would be nice if I move my remote control from my desk. But take a quick look on the right hand side anyway. As you can see, but there again, Liverpool 5th position, of course, chasing down Manchester United. But again, obviously, Villa fighting Spurs for that Conference League place at the minute. I think, realistically, I do think Brighton will get Europa League now. Anyway, I do think it will now be Brighton and Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool, don't sadly end up getting top 4. Of course, I do think it will be Liverpool and Brighton, and then it will be Spurs. Then, of course, in that Conference League. Oh, not Spurs. Sorry. Aston Villa, I think, in that. Hopefully, not to our disadvantage anyway. But of course, I'm still not particularly sure either, guys, and you guys will know better than me. What will happen if West Ham win the Conference League as well? I don't know whether or not if a place gets taken off an English team for that, whether or not it's added on. I suspect that there will be similar to like what Manchester United did when they won the Europa League back, what was it, 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. Again, I think it will be like an additional English team added onto it. So again, there'll be three English teams in the Europa League anyway from the get go. To be fair, but again, let me know your guys' thoughts. I think you guys will know a lot better than me anyway. But just briefly talking about Aston Villa, of course, what a job Unai Emery has done at Villa Park. Look, I think plain and simple, I think they were 16th, wasn't they, chat? Back when he signed for the club as well. And look, they've done an absolutely amazing job there, of course. I think since Unai Emery has joined, I think only City and Arsenal have won more games than Villa. I think that might still be the same. I don't know if Liverpool pay for way into that, because again, I don't think when you look at the last 15 games, I think Liverpool are second in the league or third in the league, somewhere around there. So again, we wish the league had started after the World Cup, maybe, realistically. But again, you look at it again, what a job he's done. And I think we're speaking. I'm probably going to speak over the next couple of weeks about next season. If Villa get their business done correct, Villa again will be challenging. And it's the same with Brighton. I know that a couple of teams will probably drop off. I like looking at it ahead for next season already. It's probably a bit premature in that way, but I think probably Brighton might drop, especially considering the fact that Caicedo will be going potentially. Obviously, Alexis McAllister, hopefully. Newcastle, I think, will drop in the league. But in my honest opinion, I think Newcastle will drop. I think Champions League and the league might be a bit too much for them. Potentially, look at what happened with Leicester. After they won the league, of course, obviously they kept Mahrez and Vardy, but still, I know it's different in those circumstances. But I feel like that unless Newcastle, get their signings correct, I don't think they'll be where they are this time next season, if I'm being perfectly honest. But then again, look, I don't think any of us expected these teams to be where they were this year. I think all of us thought that they might take, one of the teams might take the next step in terms of fighting for the top six. But look, I think in particular, like, fair play to Newcastle, what they've done this season. Even though, of course, next year and the year after, of course, they'll have massive financial help in certain things. Of course, Champions League helps with that. But again, you look at Brighton. I think that the team that I've been most impressed by this season, I don't know if you guys would be in the same boat as well, would be particularly Brighton. There's a moth. Sorry, guys, if you can see that flying around. There's a moth in my room. But yeah, no, it's Brighton for me are the ones that have been and have been, the team for me that has been most impressive in terms of budget wise and in terms of getting the best quality for the player. Like, look, they sold Cucurella for what was it, £60 million, and of course he hasn't done anything with Chelsea realistically. Hopefully that's not the same with Liverpool with McAllister if we was to get him anyway. But again, I think next season, of course, it does open a different variety of options. I think if Liverpool do their business correct, I think Liverpool will be back up there, fighting, for second and third, and maybe even for the title and so on potentially and hopefully. That's the wishful dream, of course. Arsenal as well. I think a lot of people will go, "Oh, Arsenal will have a drop off." I think they will have a bit of a drop off, but I don't think it's going to be as huge as what some people are, claiming. The fact that they'll go back to Europa League and this that, and the other, they might do. But again, I think there definitely will be teams that will drop off, but I think next year it will be a hard battle. Like, again, Liverpool at the start of next season, they have to, hit on straight away. No doubt about that whatsoever. Again, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. Like I said, it's not going to be an easy game at all. Glad it's at home though. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, again, you look at the first game. I believe it was the first game under Unai Emery that Liverpool played, his team. So again, I believe it was on Boxing Day as well. So again, obviously Liverpool do have a good Boxing Day record. To be fair as well, had to mention 7-2, didn't you? Yes, unfortunately, Rob, I did. But yeah, I didn't want to. Again, it's not like we're doing a. I don't know if you would be able to do that, like a rewatch along of it, like where we had like if we had like the game on screen and we were watching it together. I think the Premier League would um, absolutely nail us then. Because again, but obviously we do the shorts again. Obviously, apologies there was no Jurgen Klopp shorts today. I wasn't around today to clip her up, but um, I know the Bobby Firmino chant that was at Leicester. I posted that on the shorts, and within 5 minutes got a copyright strike by the Premier League for using Premier League images, which again there wasn't a ball kicked, as there was no Premier League logos. So again, just absolutely hate it. Ensign as well. Hello, Ens. Hopefully, having a fantastic day, mate. I was saying big up, bro. Hopefully, you're having. Hopefully, you're well, Ens as well. Hope you're great. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, mate. Hopefully, you're doing well as well. Obviously, the links to Ens' channel. Thank you, Mark, for that. How you doing, Ens, as well? And saying big up, respect, all good, just at work, tuning in. How are you as well? Of course, Mark's mentioned how he is in the chat as well. Let me quickly scroll down. Where we buy? Still think they may have sort of Villa as Gerrard is not there now. Yeah, potentially. Again, I think it's you look at their squad. Like I think Unai Emery has done pretty good. Like I think you look at Ollie Watkins, for example. I think he's one that has absolutely skyrocketed under Unai Emery. I think last season, I think you look at Dan Juma at Villarreal. Of course, the Champions League run as well for Villarreal as well under Unai Emery as well. So again, look, you're getting a Champions League quality manager in that sense, and that's the thing. Now you look at just the Premier League in general. I think probably you look at the teams like even Wolves, for example. Getting Lopetegui in Villa with Unai Emery. Of course, they now there's probably an elite manager. What of course, you've got the elite in terms of again Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, and then of course you've got the bracket down from it. And then I'd probably you look at that, it's a big it's a big bunch of good quality managers in there. And yeah, of course, look, obviously there's a few managers that aren't in the Premier League at the minute. Obviously, Pochettino will be coming back in as well. Only at Chelsea as well. I think that's going to be interesting. I think next season to see how that goes and how the summer goes, because if you listen to all the Chelsea reporters, it's Chelsea have to get rid of 150 million before they can even do anything this summer. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up spending 100 million on a striker. On that aspect anyway. But think Villa and Newcastle will strengthen their squads. Yeah, I do as well. I think more so Newcastle will 100%. I don't, if they didn't, that'd be stupid. The only reason I can think maybe they don't do it is FFP, but then in saying that as well, they've got Champions League money coming in now, which should help them at least anyway. But talking of signings, did we land the new sporting director we were looking at as well? Yeah, it's not done yet though because he's still at Wolfsburg. I think so. That won't get announced until if it does get announced anyway, because there's still there's still massive there's different reports on what his stature at the club will be. Is it sporting director? Is it sporting consultant? Like there's I don't know whether or not if sporting consultant means sporting director in different terms, because it seems like at the minute that Liverpool have a plan in place to keep the same sort of idea in terms of data driven analysis for Liverpool. And then it does seem that him coming in would just be the final touch to do like the final details with certain players or certain individuals on certain things as well. So again, but then of course you hear from was it, I think David Ornstein said it, that it was like a 3 month deal, or somebody said it was a 3 month deal, and then somebody else said it was a 3 year deal. It was different varieties of it as well. So again, only time will tell. Realistically, I think like Liverpool will have. I think at the end of the season, Liverpool will have a very busy summer. I think anyway. So again, obviously, if you're new, keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Of course, we'll have plenty of videos coming up throughout the summer. Again, obviously, I know that I will be in Liverpool in the middle of June as well. Of course, we're going to be planning to do loads of videos then as well. Of course, plenty of stuff as well coming up. So again, stay tuned if you're new around as well. Because again, exciting times, I would say anyway. Hopefully we'll get a couple of people, special guests on as well. Oh, you're Brian as well, says Mark. Rob saying, all I want now is win these last games, regardless if we finish top four or not. I just think confidence plays a massive part. And if they go into next season saying we won 9 games in a row, it carries over. It does, absolutely. You look at the season, not last season, the season before, when we won, what was it? We won, was it 9 from 11 games? I think we won. And yeah, look, it does, Rob, absolutely agree. It does take massive confidence going into next season. And again, it's like we said, like this Liverpool style now, it seems to be like this is going to be sticking around. It does feel from what Jurgen has said that this was a plan for next season. Whether or not now, of course, Liverpool, do keep with it in the summer. I think that's going to be the interesting point on who we do sign. I think if the rumored three in midfield of Gravenberch, Mason Mount, and Alexis McAllister comes in, I think again that gives you a variety of options to stick with this new 3-4-3, 4-3-3 hybrid. It gives you, it could potentially take you back to Liverpool's old 4-3-3 as well, in some way, as well. But again, I know plenty of people, I think yesterday or the day before, had the chat. Obviously, I know you guys will know as well the fact that we were talking so much and debating about Europa League. I think that's going to be a conversation for next season as well. Of do we play youngsters in the Europa League? Do we allow, do we let the likes of Stefan Bajcetic, Ben Doak, there's probably many other youngsters that I'm not thinking about off the top of my head, but there's probably so many people that could be given the opportunity to flourish in the Europa League. Then again, I'm all for it in that sense, but then I'm also in the sense of Liverpool could very well just go, okay, we're going to go all out like we would in the Champions League. Play the first 11 week in, week out. Maybe you could do the odd change like Virgil and Ali potentially, but who knows? And again, we don't know whether or not if Liverpool might not get Champions League yet. But yeah, absolutely agree, 100%. Oh, Rob, they are must-win games. Yeah, again, that's the thing. We have to do our job, 100%. If we was to win 9 out of 9, again, like as Rob said in the last comment, Liverpool take massive confidence going into next season. Villa have a lot of money to spend as well, but yeah, no, they do. That's the thing. The Premier League at the minute, I think you look at the net spends and that. Like again, you've got the likes of Wolves, Villa, Newcastle, Brighton. I expect to spend big as well, depending on if they get 70 million for McAllister from us, and then get of course 90 for Caicedo. Of course, they'll be spending big in the summer as well. Wouldn't surprise me. Again, the fact that Liverpool have to spend big this summer, look, we're not talking about a cheap transfer window. Liverpool need minimum 3 midfielders, and then potentially a centre half, in that window as well. So again, there will be a different variety of options, I think, for Liverpool this summer. as well. But oh yeah, as well says Mark. Rob saying Coutinho on the bench of Villa, and Firmino is having murals painted in the city. What a bad decision. Coutinho's could have been a Liverpool legend or a Liverpool legend. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I did see the. I think it's almost done as well. I did have the photos up, but again, I tried to save them and click them up. Of course, we're going to talk about your press conference in the slides. But yeah, I forgot to add it to the slides. So again, apologies for that. But if you've seen them on Twitter and so on, again, check out our Twitter page as well. I'll post them up after the stream as well. And yeah, it's deserved. I think there should be one for James Milner as well. I think like obviously we'll get on to what you're going to say about, of course, the four leaving at the end of the season. But again, I think look, Bobby is the one, of course, that will get the major headlines. Of course, he's a thumbnail for God's sake. But again, James Milner as well, I think deserves a massive shout out for everything he's done for the club. I think Kenny Dalglish and I forgot who else it is. I've seen a stat that like James Milner now has over like 200 wins for Liverpool or something like that. He's now become the third player to do it. Um, but he's like the fastest to do it in less games as well in terms of appearances. So again, he is a Liverpool legend for me. Even though people go, oh, how can you say James Milner's a Liverpool legend? Blah blah blah. He is like he's one of the best free transfers in the club's history. For me, he is a club legend. And again, look, it will be sad to see him go. But again, there was always the questions of is now the right time? And I think if we're being honest, now is the right time for James Milner to go. 100%. Look, when you are having to rely on James Milner in midfield in 2023, again, your midfield needs a revamp as well. But look, again, Liverpool legend, absolutely. Newcastle will do plenty of business with sales, plenty of deadwood there, players like Anguilo, Lascelles, and yeah, absolutely, 100%. Again, could you get huge fees for those though? To be fair, I'm not particularly sure. But worse that he used his own cash to leave us as well. Was that with Coutinho? I didn't know if he did that. Again, faked a back injury, didn't he, to get the move done? Look, Fel Coutinho, again, obviously, I know some people are still bitter towards it, or the the way he left the club. Look, for me, the money was used to get Liverpool a Premier League and a Champions League. You know, and we got probably better players in terms for the club, in terms of Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker. So, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Barcelona, as well. But no, like I know he will obviously be there on the bench for Bobby's send off as well. Of course, it's going to be emotional tomorrow, and again, it's going to be interesting to see how the emotions are, held. To be fair, because we've seen, I don't think like last season wasn't really Genie leaving wasn't really it was like a send off, but don't get me wrong, it wasn't as emotional as I think is what it could be. I think tomorrow, considering the fact the amount of players are going to be leaving as well, I think the emotions will be high. I think as well. So whoever's cutting onions up, go away. That's what that's the only thing I'm going to say. Kate Gordon getting a lot of hype from Stefan Majcetic, which sounds good as well. Yeah, you know what? I forgot about Kate Gordon. Of course, he's been injured for the majority of the season as well. But yeah, hopefully, of course, they'll get plenty of game time this season, well, next season anyway. But I never blamed him for wanting to join Barcelona, just the way he did it. Yeah, I think everyone's like Gabriel. I hope we do our deals quick and fast so we don't miss out on who we want, as I think that has happened before. Jude Bellingham being one. Supposedly that's more or less done now. I think it's 100 million euros up front, and then it's about 40 million in add-ons as well potentially. Obviously, Jude's going to be given, I think, like 250,000 pound per week after taxes. So yeah, it's ridiculous amount of money. Anyway, but we are going to now talk then, guys, of course, about Jurgen Klopp's press conference. Again, apologies, there wasn't any clips of Jurgen's press conference as well. But still, of course, Jurgen speaking on, of course, on his touchline ban, like of course we mentioned all of yesterday, as well as he said that I expected a punishment. It's okay. I would like to know where the money goes. Hopefully, it goes to a good cause. No one has told me I can't go on the pitch after tomorrow's game. Of course, I know plenty of people were asking that question. Of course, would Jurgen be allowed on the pitch for tomorrow? And of course, by the looks of things, he will be allowed to be on the pitch at the end of the end of the game. Sorry. Of course, he did also confirm that Darwin Núñez is not available. You guys have already mentioned that in the chat down below as well. But yeah, Darwin Núñez is out of the Villa game tomorrow. He does have a. I was going to say, of course, it is a toe injury, but I can't remember what specifically is wrong with him. I tried to find the part on Twitter, couldn't find it. So I think it's an infection in his toe. So of course, Jurgen supposedly said that it is a very, very sore one for Darwin anyway. So again, obviously it'll be a race to get him fit for next week as well. But of course, with Bobby, I think now Bobby will have a big part to play tomorrow. I think obviously Cody Gakpo will start. Shocks for starting line predictions, but I think Cody Gakpo, sorry, Bobby Firmino, he will get minutes tomorrow. I think there's absolutely no doubt about that. Anyway, and of course Jurgen also speaking on the top four race, like we've mentioned as well, saying I never had hope for that. I don't need that. I know we have to win all of our football games, and then there's maybe a chance that is all as well. Which again, yeah, I think it's pretty much like what we've all said, haven't we? We've all said that if Liverpool just win their games, if Liverpool just go on to just be go on and win all of our games, there's a chance, and there still is a chance. And of course, after Saturday, we'll I think again we'll know more clear on if Liverpool don't beat Villa. Then again, it's over. Of course, we will be playing Europa League next season. I think plenty of people have already accepted that fact anyway, that Champions League is impossible already. And I think, judging from it, of course, Liverpool don't deserve Champions League football. Of course, I'm not saying I wouldn't want it personally. Of course, who wouldn't want Champions League football? But I think, just on this season, Liverpool haven't deserved it. I think that's the honest truth, if we're being perfectly honest anyway. But look, at the end of the day, we can all hope for United drop points. Again, I know because some people were like, oh, we're never going to get Newcastle. And I agree. I don't think Liverpool were ever going to get Newcastle. I think it was always Manchester United. Again, United need to win 2 games out of 3. They have to win. If they draw or lose in 2 of them and we win both, we beat them on goal difference. And that's the big one I think many people are forgetting about. People have got obviously going on about points and so on. Liverpool, if United draw or lose in 2 of the games, then of course Liverpool will beat them on goal difference. Thank you very much for the 7-0 as well, which of course we'll add on to it. But again, I think, is it possible? I don't know. I still have a little bit of hope, but again, obviously, I'm a bit optimistic as well. You guys will know I've been very optimistic this season with a few times, but look, until it's over, it's over. The only thing, again, I've said it this season, and I've said it not last season, the season before, when we were fighting for top 4. That I said then plenty of times that season. It's like, yeah, Liverpool not getting top 4, and we ended up getting it. So who knows? But what else do we have to say then? Chat. Sad to see Bobby go. So I don't think we will have a lot of safe. To be fair, I don't know what you mean by that. Hopefully, we're 2 or 3 up, and you can get half an hour. I think either way, he comes on at half an hour. If I'm being honest. Yeah, I think he absolutely comes on 100%. Would be great to do some content in the future. Absolutely, ends. DM me as well, and I'll hopefully get back to you now as well. I'm terrible at messaging people, genuinely. But yeah, just message on Twitter or anything And yeah, absolutely, we'll have to try and do something, mate. Absolutely. That was it. Thank you, Enz. It was attendance in his house, so yeah, it's a nasty one. It is a very very nasty one. Frustrating first season for Nunes, but the talent is there. I wouldn't say frustrating. I would say actually, yeah, maybe we might use frustrating. I think misunderstood. I think is the first season. I think look, we've become, and I think this is not only Liverpool supporters. I do think it is every fan base going at the minute, and just football fans in general. We're all we've all succumbed to signings coming in and doing an amazing job from minute one. And I think people have definitely become short-sighted in that sense, and probably I've been probably a problem with that as well. Um, but I think we're so quick to judge, oh, he's a flop, or he won't do well. And you look at Darwin. Look, Darwin's got, what is it like? Is it um, is it 16 goals? I think in all is it 16 goals in all competitions? Or 17 goals, something like that in all competitions. Like again, I do think that Darwin will be amazing for Liverpool Football Club. I have absolutely no doubt about that. I know at the minute, of course, people will debate, and rightfully so, about next season. Does he get ahead of Cody Gakpo? I think if Liverpool go back to 4-3-3, I think maybe. But then again, like I still think Darwin Nunes. I still think next season he will be a 25 goal, 30 goal striker. I do think he will be that. And that's the thing. I think people to forget, like I said, I think people are short sighted in terms of, oh, he's a flop, this, that, and the other. Like I've seen a couple of people put him in their flops of the season, and I'm like, just no. Like if you watch Darwin Nunes, even for 90 minutes, you can see how good he's going to be. And it's like how Jurgen Klopp, and I think the best, quotes about it is go and, find and go and research everything like what Robert Lewandowski has gone and said. You look at the goal scoring form of Lewandowski when, of course, he was, his first season under Jurgen Klopp. It wasn't very good. I think he scored, I think, 9 goals, I think. Um, but yeah, it was always like when you turn around and go, oh, it's going to be, it'll always become good. And I think that's the thing with Darwin. He needs to just relax. I think again, there's always been a few, a few things that again Darwin has been a bit too quick to own it. And I think again he will absolutely score 25, 30 goals a season. Absolutely, I do believe that as well. Of course, and I get some people go, it is a frustrating season in some part. And again, it might be, but again, I think like next season will be absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, but I would stand by that. I do think that Liverpool, I think people are very quick to judge on signings, me included. Like, for example, like I've called Anthony a flop at Manchester United. Maybe I might be wrong on that, but I think because we've seen such a reaction towards, like, for example, like Liverpool, for example, we've seen how well Luis Diaz has done at Liverpool. Straight on the bat last season. Cody Gakpo, I think since January, has been amazing. Um, and again, I think there's plenty of other people like Haaland, for example. I think obviously people are too quick to judge on that certain aspect anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Do you think he's being genuine about Kelleher? Well, I was about to mention Kelleher in a minute. Kelleher, or just trying to get more money? I'm sure Kelleher wants to leave to tie down the national team spot. Yeah, I think Kelleher will leave Liverpool. Obviously, Jurgen can quickly find, where's the bit? Is that the bit where he said that he's going to leave? Yeah. So if I quickly get rid of Rob's comment, a moment. Of course, Klopp on Kelleher saying, I cannot see. I'm going to say Kelleher leaving. It would take an extraordinary offer as well. And of course, I think the offer is around 25, 30 million that is getting spoken about at the moment. Again, look, I think Liverpool, especially because Adrian's going to be getting a new deal, which I know everyone's thrilling about that. on social media. But again, look, I think if Liverpool went to him, okay, if you could just stay for one more season, and then we'll definitely let you go next year. I think then yeah, I think look, Liverpool have to eventually let him go, absolutely. But again, as you know, as Marcus said it, but they, look, I thought Brighton was after Keller. They are supposedly. Brentford were also after him, but of course they've gone for a cheaper option as well. So look, I think Spurs as well. I think Spurs will. I think they'll be swooping around for Kelleher as well. They need a new young goalkeeper at the minute because of course they've got either Hugo Lloris or Fraser Foster as well. So you look at it like that. Again, it'll be interesting, won't it? But obviously, N saying he's done well in his first season. I think that was Darwin. That red card broke his rhythm, and then the World Cup, Uruguay had a shocker. They did have a shocker. It was really really bad, wasn't it? As well. But then again, he didn't play in his normal position. But that's for me as well as something that's going to be work out absolutely mental. Bielsa at Uruguay, that is going to be frightening. That's the only thing I'm going to say anyway. But again, he'll get Darwin running as well. That's the other side of it as well. So again, but yeah, look, I think Darwin will be amazing next year, 100%. Kelleher won't be short of offers. No, absolutely agree, 1,000% on that as well. He's too good to do sign line. I agree massively. Frustrating for him. I mean, Con, very stop starts at the suspension early doors and in the World Cup. Yeah, no, absolutely. I get what you mean, Brian, absolutely 100%. Again, though, I think Liverpool and Darwin will have amazing year anyway. Hello, Spider. Yeah, if anyone's new, please subscribe. No, for God's sake. Yeah, never seen you before. No, well, again, don't know who Spider is. No, don't smile. No, I won't smile. I seen your comment. I seen the smile comment. Excuse me, but yeah, no. What else do we have? Drop us the link. I'll jump on. Oh, got something in my eye. It's me getting emotional over Bobby already. Yeah, let me quickly send invites out as well. Yeah, if you do want to join, let us know in the chat, and I'll send invites. Who am I sending invites to? I was going to quickly put it in the chat. Who am I sending invites to? So look, who's on Twitter? Just send like random people. Again, that'll be funny. Again, we might do call-in shows. I know a couple of you guys were talking about it in the chat. About it, but yeah, we'll have to see. Anyway, right, let's get. Oh, geez, this should be fun. No, so that's Jack. Spider. Right, there we go. We're gonna have the gonna have Anton Deck on in a minute. That should be fun. Get if they're watching this, they're gonna hate me for saying that as well. But yeah, obviously we're joined by Spider and Jack in a moment as well. But we've got N saying, yeah, Brian, yeah, right, that red card did play a part in his confidence. Yeah, we look at it, when we talk about the end of the end of the season, that Manchester United game at Old Trafford, I think we would have beaten if Darwin was there. Because we had to rely on, was it Bobby had to come back? I think Bobby had an injury. We had to play Bobby. I think he was fit for one day, and then we had to play him because we had no striker at the club. So again, that worked out brilliantly. I feel like we took the fire out of him. I left on fire as well. He learned far too hasn't been involved in any nonsense as well. Oh yeah, I'm Spider saying I'll jump on that as well. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, McKinder. What's he gonna go and run away? No. Anyway, but let me quickly see if I've not mentioned anything. Oh yeah, I did mention Adrian as well. Obviously, Jurgen did speak about Adrian, saying of course Klopp, saying if we aren't saying goodbye tomorrow, then he's probably staying. Which yeah, we're absolutely getting. We're absolutely getting him a new contract at the end of the season anyway. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Makendo, if you are ready. That's not a thumbs up, mate. That's ridiculous. That is.
Oh, there we go. How are we, lad?
What time do you call this?
Oh, It's just a bit past my bedtime, we should all know. But how you doing, mate? You right?
I'm good. How have you been?
Yeah, just went out with Andrew, had a couple of bevies and that, so it was all good, mate.
Oh
Yeah.
God, we're getting a tipsy weekend on straight.
Right, won't get me top off after it's only on certain websites.
That's when we get top 4 next week.
Oh, yeah. Some videos might come out. Pictures of my toes might come out as well.
I think we need to pay for that anyway. Oh. Of course, we've got Frozen Spider again, which is fantastic.
Why am I blue? Hang on one sec.
They're not blue on the screen.
Because you're a massive blue. That's why.
Connor, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to come in and say, "It's great. I got budget Anton Deck here."
To be fair, I tried to think of something, and I was like, I don't know why I saw like an Anton Deck advert earlier on. So I was like, oh yeah, it's Anton Deck. That'll be the best. But how are we, Spider?
Why not the Chuckle Brothers? Yeah, Chuckle Brothers. Yeah,
oh Jesus Christ! No,
to me, to you,
Dick and Dom in the bungalow, like that. That's for me is the one. Growing up as a kid, I don't know if you guys in the chat. Maybe I remember Dick and Dom for that. To be fair, but yeah, Spider. Obviously Villa tomorrow. Yeah. Are you nervous? Are you excited?
Nah.
You're not excited.
Nah. This is what we do at the end of the season, man. We pick up our game. Like in the last few years, we probably had 3 seasons ago. Some of our best periods were like November, December, January, where we were winning everything. But then around that, for about 2 or 3 seasons, that was been our weakest points. But now we've always kind of driven on for the last 16 games of the season. Whether there's like a blip of maybe one loss or a couple of draws or something like that, but we've always kind of driven on, and I can see us just getting it over the line. We really need to push pressure on United, really, because that's who we're chasing now. Unless Leicester decide they really want to stay in the league and beat Newcastle on Monday, and then Chelsea decide, oh, we want to just stay with more points in 10th or something. It's just because they're not catching anywhere in the Conference League. Even there is no Euro for Chelsea, so. You do what they might be preparing for next season, but to see what they look like. But that's about it. I don't know.
Kev, I'd like to date Michelle Keegan, but that's just never gonna happen.
You know what? 4 months ago, I was the only person that was sitting there in the chat and everything that I was on saying we'll get within a point of top 4 or we'll get top 4. And everybody was like, nah, it's done. It's dead. It's done. It's dead. So I'll stay Mr. Positive right until the end.
That's it, though. That's it, mate.
I've seen that cardboard cut out of Michelle Keegan in your bedroom, lad. So we should be fine.
It's bigger than me. That doesn't take much beating anyway, as we know.
And Matt, by the way, I'm very, very tanned. You just can't see it because there's bright lights on me.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
We turned now from a Liverpool show into a modelling show. That's what this is now.
I'm definitely not involved in that.
Sexy for my shirt.
Me and David Moyes. Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, no. Speaking about departures tomorrow, obviously I know Jack. Obviously Bobby's going to get the headlines. I know that James Milner. I know that obviously Jurgen has already said about Naby and Ox. Please don't forget them. But I know obviously we were speaking earlier on, and we were like, it is the Bobby and James Milner show for tomorrow. It's not Naby or Ox because of course obviously they haven't been.
He's your boy, Naby lad. Naby lad.
Not my boy anymore, especially after he refused to play for the club.
So I just watched those videos from 3 years ago. Chat it sounds.
Yeah, don't go back 3 years ago and say I was potentially Liverpool's best midfielder at the football club anyway. But either way, tomorrow is going to be emotional.
You weren't wrong. He was a very talented midfielder. He would have been the best midfielder at the club.
Yeah, Klopp said that in his press conference this week. Well, today, wasn't he? In terms of in the good moments when Naby was good, he was good. But we just didn't see. We didn't. It was very hard in between really to find those games.
Matchstick tendons, man. That's what he has. Every time something happened, they just snapped and there was dangly legged Naby, and that's all you got from him.
It makes me really frustrated though because there was a player there. This is why we spent 52 million on him.
We got him a season too late, Connor. That season that they sent him back, he was on fire then, and we should have bought him then, and we should have put a foot down about it. Maybe paid the extra 10 million if we had to get a season out of him. Because he was on fire that season, then he picked up an injury at the end of that season, and he's never gotten rid of it.
Where are we saying he's going? I was going to say, where do you reckon he'll go or chat?
Somewhere in France.
I was speaking to Andrew, potential Newcastle. Do you reckon they're put a bid in for him? Newcastle, he's an upgrade on what they've currently got anyway. But
Yeah, you wouldn't see past it if he's kind of an older player, kind of going to Newcastle. And he's not even that old, is he?
he's
Like
like
29, is he?
27.
26, yeah.
So, is he only 26?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not that old.
Jesus, I thought he was 29.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Let me double check this. I
Oh
think
man,
he
he'll
is
become a
26.
world. He'll become
Chat,
a world
yeah,
for
no.
Newcastle.
But yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it, mate? I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a massive season. I think all of us have said that as well, Chas, in it. So, but yeah, mainly Bobby and Milner, and even Ox in his good moments. I think Klopp said that in his presser today. That injury absolutely destroyed, as we know, destroyed his career. Klopp said in his interview today, there was no one really that could have replaced him in terms of that game against Roma or that goal against Manchester City. He had his qualities, similar with Danny Ings as well. I think those two players, if they weren't ravaged with injuries, it would have been interesting to see how their career did go. Potentially wouldn't have really got up a couple of levels, really, mate. But the main one's Milner, and of course, we just got to respect all of them. I think everyone's got different views on, especially the other two, in terms of Ox and Milner. I was a big fan of Ox when we signed him, but never really didn't really materialise. Yeah. But the other two Liverpool legends, all of them technically, they played a part. Whether it's a big part like Bobby and Milner, or it's a little small part, they've all contributed to Liverpool's large success in over the last 4 or 5 year period. And there's been much worse players that have turned up at Anfield and played much worse than them. But yeah, I love them. But mainly Bobby. I think the Bobby mural's finished. We haven't seen it, Chat.
Yeah, I saw it was like I think the hand wasn't finished.
Yeah, I drove past it today. I think it's more or less done. Yeah, so it's looking really good, mate.
Yeah, well, again, I'll post them up on Twitter again. Apologies, chat, I haven't got them on the stream. But again, I think it's again. I think tomorrow will be emotional. I think already some people have already talked and mentioned. Oh, for God's sake!
oh yeah, what's Kev? Oh, hang on, is Kev? I've just been too. I've been looking at chat. Is Kev just got his kit off midway through the stream? Or? There we go. Now we are the Chuckle Brothers to meet you. Right, Connor, you know what, chat? Start it, roll. We're getting you this top. So
I don't have a yellow kit.
I'm missing the Rushy mustache, Army.
Yeah, that's exactly
the Rushy mustache.
That's saying, but I love in the retro. Loving the retro.
That's what I spotted before it came up, and I just ran.
Jesus Christ. When you went away, I thought, "Oh, something's going to happen by now," and then Jesus Christ, yeah, I absolutely love these two. But no, obviously, you mentioned in terms of where Naby's going. I'd be very interested to see where Ox goes in the summer.
He screams. I don't know how you lads feel or chat. West Ham. I don't know. I've always said this. Like he's a London lad, and I think he is. Probably wrong. I think he's a London lad. I think he'll go back to West Ham. I think exactly what they need for me.
He's Southampton, isn't he? He's actually from that around that area, isn't he? That kind of
Southampton. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's close enough to London.
South, isn't it, realistically.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think that's a good shout. To be fair, I'm just going to quickly have a look. Apparently Liverpool have bid 60 million for McAllister.
Nice.
Supposedly.
Yeah, chat. Yeah, well, chat it all as he be on it anyway. Let's check
that out anyway. But what else we have as well? Obviously, Brian saying, I know, mate, we need to keep our heads down and support every player who wears the shirt. Plenty of props out there wanted to us down. Don't need our own doing as well. Yeah, absolutely, as well. And obviously, Doug saying, wow, Kev and Jack are matching as well. Yeah, we've got the twins.
You don't say it, Doug. You don't say
it. We've even got the receding hairline to match as well. So,
actually, no. I throw a point into that. Mine is not receding. I've always had a McDonald's hairline, so my hairline's always been like this. You know, what I mean? I've always had the arches since I was about 15. It's never gone back or forward. It's just stayed the same.
To be fair, I wish now you had the Mackey's kit from last season. I wish now you had that.
What was it? Was the Carlsberg one? Remember years ago with the Gerrard and Torres? We had like a yellow kit then, didn't we?
Yeah. That was one with the red stripes. That was lovely, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
We had the horrific bright yellow goalkeeper kit, was it?
Yeah.
It was like it looked
Pepe
like
Reina.
yeah, it looked like
Yeah.
Bobby's teeth, but like shined in yellow. It was like too yellow.
Yeah.
I think, but Doug saying, but they could Ox go to Brentford.
Potentially, yeah.
So the
Potentially.
Anfield edition have said that because of a pact between McAllister and Brighton, he can leave. They made a pact that he could leave for less than 65 million if the right offer came in.
Okay.
No wonder Brighton bottled it last night. I'm telling you, we have wound Brighton up. Like the two teams that they've lost to, the Ev, and just given Newcastle basically one foot in the Champions League.
It's the fact that like McAllister does absolutely wonders against United and scoring against Everton as well. And then you think, because everyone's like, oh yeah, Liverpool Champions League, and that rumor of him wanting Champions League, and then like you put him on the bench and you're like, oh, for God's sake, man, like just put him on. But yeah,
it's your cousin kind of just after bringing out some news on the Anfield agenda.
Oh, my Italian cousin.
Yeah, your Italian cousin, yeah, Fabrizio. He's after saying that he's live saying that McAllister will leave between 60 and 65 million, and even though Liverpool and Chelsea are the parties, he's got his hat set on Liverpool. So yeah,
is that cheap for you lads or chat? For
that's
me,
bad.
that is.
It's a World Cup. That's a World Cup winner. He knows what he's doing. He's playing in the Premier League now, and he dominated the World Cup. To be honest with you, so for me, it's a no-brainer.
It's a World Cup winner who's got
if an average English player is 70 million, then a World Cup winner getting him for 60 million is a no-brainer.
Well, what do we think of moving a little bit away from Liverpool? And sorry, Chad, we are talking about transfers a little bit, but what do you make of the stuff today coming out from David Ornstein saying that Arsenal will go for go for Caicedo, Rice, and a number 8 and a striker? Like considering the fact that they've spent 300 million over the last 2 summers, like
is he saying he's not trusting Odegaard and Xhaka and Partey anymore?
Xhaka's
even though
going, we know that for a fact he's going to be going, but
Partey,
again,
like he's had a great season, for Arsenal. Odegaard's having a fan. He's ran the show for Arsenal.
I'd love Odegaard.
Yeah, but he's a Liverpool fan. Like, we could have got him if he didn't go to Real Madrid that time. We did have him, yeah. But he'd be great. Look, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, what would you do? Put in 60 million and £1 for him? Yeah, do it. Just do it.
What is it? Get Arsene Wenger back as the chief negotiator. Get him as chief as sporting director.
I forgot about Xhaka leaving.
Yeah, exactly. But
Ian Wright is secret Liverpool fan anyway, so
yeah, no, he is.
Yeah.
Go back and watch. Was it the FA Cup semi-final?
Yeah.
Against City, where he's celebrating.
Imagine we actually got that as well. Imagine if he turned up. Was it Henri as well? It was when he was doing the CBS coverage a couple of months ago. So he was asked what club he wished he had joined, and Liverpool, he did say Liverpool. So
yeah. And Jamie Carragher was even surprised. Yeah.
In his most boot.
And then you can see in his head. You can see in his head then with the laser eyes. Why'd you go to Barcelona then, huh?
Could you imagine that a front three of? We could have, if Henri had joined, from Arsenal, we could have potentially had Torres, Henri, and Suarez at one time, maybe.
Nearly. Suarez came in afterwards, so it could have been, I don't know, if Maxi Rodriguez or Riera would have been there at that stage, maybe, or somebody like that. Their coach, Their coach would have been there. He would have been brilliant, yeah.
Because when was their Champions League final? Was it
2009, wasn't it?
2008-9.
Arsenal's 8-9. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Arsenal's was 05 or 06 was Arsenal's Champions League.
Was it? No, 05 or 06 was the year between us, the 2 Champions League finals we had, wasn't it? Was that Barcelona and Arsenal, was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was 2 years after our second one.
04, 05 was Arsenal.
Oh, so 09 was City or United and Chelsea, wasn't it?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
08, 09 was United and Barca.
I'd love
the year
that was the one at Wembley.
The year before that. No, the year before that was Chelsea and United at Moscow. Then you had Barca and United at Rome, was it? And then you had a gap, and then it was the one between United and Barca at Wembley, I think.
So which one was the? Oh, that's gone back a bit, isn't it?
Barcelona
Bayer
were just a
Leverkusen.
bit at that time, just a bit better.
Yeah.
Just
about 10,000 times better.
Bayer Leverkusen and that wonderful strike from Zidane. Was that before or when was that after? Just or after one?
Was that
Yeah, it was
2003 or something, 2002 or something. Yeah. Because Figo was still there at that stage, so I'm trying to line them up. No, because I thought the one between the Arsenal and the Barcelona one was like about 2-3 seasons after we won it, but like 2 seasons after we got in there again. That's what I thought. So I don't know what the 5 and 6 were, but if it was that one, geez, that was a good final as well. Arsenal were unlucky that year. Unlucky.
Sol Campbell with the Arsenal's goal, and then it was like 2 late goals for Barca. Because didn't Jans Lehmann get sent off, I think, for Arsenal as well?
Yeah. You could probably write a whole start 11 of like players that potentially could have come to Liverpool. Was it Dani Alves? Rafa tried. He was come out. I think he done an interview a couple of months ago. He's like to and fro of who to sign.
Ronaldo was one.
Yeah.
Ronaldo from Lisbon, yeah. Between us and United, but we didn't know.
Ronaldo knew nearly everyone. Like everyone says, he could have gone to Liverpool, could have gone to Arsenal, could have gone to Chelsea.
The maddest one was Zlatan for me. Like Arsenal could have signed him. I think he was on trial or something, wasn't he? But imagine.
Jesus Christ. Doug, I think we just mentioned that in terms of where's Naby going.
Newcastle.
I think
potentially in the Prem Newcastle. I think he's a massive upgrade on what they've got. Like, I no disrespect to any of the Newcastle fans watching. If they play like Real Madrid or an elite side in Europe, especially if they're looking, they will go into pot 4. We saying, boys, Newcastle, because they've not really, apart from when you had Bobby Robson, not really got a lot of European pedigree. So they'll go in pot 4, and they could get the likes of Real Madrid, Inters. They could get probably the most difficult.
They are Manchester City in 2008 when you got your Robinhos in, and then you had a few older, more experienced players that were around European football and stuff that came in. That's what they're looking at right now. Plus the youth that they have already in the squad, balance it off.
Sorry guys, Alexis McAllister has accepted Liverpool's proposal. It's now down to Liverpool and Brighton. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. So,
I reckon he's coming. That's why he was on the bench, as I said just then. We've wound Brighton up because we're robbing their best player. It's a flip of a coin, him and Saicedo.
Yeah, it just came up. Yeah, everywhere's saying it now. Anfield Edition thing. McAllister says yes to Liverpool. Said yes to Liverpool. Jeez, as you said it, Connor. Just thought my whole feed just changed.
Change your title.
You pressing the button, innit? It's you pressing the button, innit?
I'm telling you, the related
Connor's pressing the button there. He's changing Twitter.
To be fair, I'm on Twitter right now on my phone, so apologies, John. I'm checking it right now. To be fair, saying by Fabrizio Romano, Alexis McAllister will leave Brighton for less than 65 million. Expected price is around. So I'm guessing it will be somewhere like 55 million initial fee, 65 million.
10 million add-ons. Yeah.
What's a good deal?
Change your title, Connor. Yeah, we'll go for another hour.
We're not going to change the title because then I got to think of a thumbnail. Then it's
too
late for that. What?
It's just been me and Jack going like this, and you just kind of going, yeah, just do it that way.
But I need to go to the shop and get this thing.
No, we'll do.
Wait, do I get better? Hang on.
No, you meant to self-do. God's sake.
Rubber face, mate. Rubber face. And that's just a handsome fella,
If you like the content, then please hit that subscribe button as well.
Yeah, we don't take ourselves too serious around this.
No, we're not a serious organisation. That's all. No, but we absolutely love it anyway. But thinking about starting 11s then for tomorrow. Obviously, I know that some people might pick due on emotion. Obviously, I think plenty of people have already said that Bobby should be starting for tomorrow. But Jack, what would be your starting 11 for Liverpool tomorrow?
Still got a job to do, mate. As I said, just as we were saying there, go as strong as we possibly can. Then, as Jürgen said in the interview today, put sentiment aside. We've still got a job to do. It's still possible. And if we get 5th, we're getting 5th, aren't we? But if something does happen and Manchester United does happen and Bournemouth and Dom Solanke and the boys, come on, Bournemouth. But yeah, I'd go strong really for me, mate. Go Alisson, go Ibu, go Virgil, go Robinson as well, play Trent right back. Obviously, we know the formation that usually. So back four for me, but it will be a back three as we know. Trent, Ibu, Virgil, Robbo, and then Bacchetti. Oh no, he's out injured, plus because we were speaking, me and Andrew were speaking about Bacchetti before. Hendo, if he's fit, Fabinho. I'll play Gakpo in that midfield role, like he did a couple of weeks ago. I think he's capable of doing that. And then Lucho Diaz, Darwin's still out, isn't he? So, do Diaz, Jota, and then Salah. And then obviously it goes into your 3-back formation. So, yeah, it's great that we're so made up. We've got options, mate, in it. But as we know, midfield's the priority. But yeah, that'll be mine, mate.
Spider, do you agree with Jack?
So that's the team that I would want to pick. But what I think Klopp is going to go with, I don't think so. I think Jones is on fire at the moment, so I think he might get the start on the left-hand side of that midfield. I think
Jones, sorry, mate.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I forgot your boy Curtis McKenna.
Yeah. I said it as well. Maybe this is just a good purple patch for Jones, and I hope he does well as a scouser in there. But for me, if he does have the dips again, and that you'd want to see Gakpo in his position over there in future, a little bit further forward. But I would go with the same back line as Jack, and Jones. I just think what Klopp would go with, what I would want, Gakpo in there eventually. But Jones at the moment is on fire. Leave him play. Leave him do his thing. He's been running the midfield lately, so that's great. I'd have Fabinho and last home game of the season, so Henderson is definitely starting. And I would. I don't know about Diaz starting. I think he's been made. He looked a bit tired last day, but he's had more of an impact off the bench in the last few games since he's come on. But maybe not with the Spurs game, he was on fire. Oh my God, who'd you go with? Do you go with Jota? Who can knock him in?
It's a great headache to have those.
I'll go Diaz, Jota, Salah. Because I'd like to see Núñez started, but he just hasn't been starting Núñez.
So injury in it. You never know with those injuries. You can't be too sure, really.
I mostly agree with you guys as well. I've gone more or less the same. I was, again, I think it'd be Trent in that midfield role, Curtis Jones. I've gone from Cody Gakpo up front with Hendo. But again, it is a good variety of options because, again, having Jota there, you can either swap him for Lucho, or you can swap him for Cody Gakpo and play Cody Gakpo through the middle if you want to do. I think more so for probably Jordan Henderson. I think maybe than Curtis. But yeah, absolutely. I think Liverpool have vast majority of strength in of course the attacking areas. Again, with Trent at the minute I saw something today on Jordan Henderson. Apparently he's had words with Gareth Southgate in terms of picking Trent. So again, hopefully that comes to help Trent.
Did he watch him? He was at Anfield, wasn't he?
He was.
Him in the Scotland manager. Was it the last game we played?
The Leicester game.
Yeah, the Leicester game. So that's the thing. Even if Trent was banging in 20 goals and keeping to any clean sheets, he still probably wouldn't. Well, as long as he's fit.
He'll find a way to screw him up,
Yeah, but it's great that, and even Curtis Jones as well, boys. I think he's probably been our player of the last couple of weeks. He's improved massively, and by no surprise, when we played a bit more consistent. We're seeing what I'm loving is late runs into the box. How many times have we missed a player since the days of obviously Steven Gerrard, just a goal scoring midfielder? I think that's hopefully what McAllister might bring as well. He's so adaptable, but I think when it hasn't worked over the last 3, 4, 5 years in terms of the big games where we're struggling to break down the team, it's always about you wanting more from the likes, as we mentioned, Naby or a Henderson or whoever's played in that midfield. We look at Coutinho, he'd bang one for 30 yards from the edge of the penalty area. That's what we need to do more. And I'm hoping if it's Jones, hopefully in the future, or it's one or two players coming in, then it adds an extra dynamic to Liverpool, really, that we've really struggled in the last couple of seasons when the majority of everything has worked, but in those little tight moments, 15, 20-minute spell where you just need a bit more composure. You look at City boys as well. Like, I know you've got the depth and quality, but you look at Bernardo Silva against Real Madrid, they were zonal marking. Yeah, you were closing down Kevin De Bruyne, they were shutting off Rodri, but Bernardo Silva stepped up in the right moments, and hopefully that's where Liverpool can improve.
I hope he leaves City this season. He annoys me as a City player because he just pops up with goals in the weirdest places. when
Him and
Stevens put their
Mahrez.
bed. Yeah, very annoying. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think though, to be fair, I think because I think was there somebody earlier on was like, oh, Rodri, feels like he's been at City forever, and
He's only 26.
yeah, I was going to
27.
say he's only just turned 26, which is mad to think about. Like, but again, it's great business from City anyway. But I want to quickly ask the two of you on this as well. 'Cause I've seen a debate earlier on it. If Liverpool get their targets this summer, does Curtis Jones start for Liverpool next season? Like the first game of the season next year, does he start for Liverpool if we stay with this new hybrid style?
I can't see it. I'd like to see it, but I can't see it because I think there's going to be a whole summer of Klopp adapting new tactics to suit the players that he's brought in. And I think that's the only thing that kills Curtis Jones' chance at having a real go in the team. No, I hope he does include him in that setup, which I think Klopp would as a manager. But I think ideally he's going to set up for what his strongest midfielders are, and unless he steps up even beyond the guys that we're going to bring in, he's going to set it up for McAllister and Co. Whoever's coming in. Now, in saying that, Curtis Jones could also adapt, and you might find McAllister's a bit on the right rather than the left. Curtis Jones can move over to the right. I mean, Henderson now needs replacing, and this is what we're looking at now. Like, Henderson can still do a really good job in there for us, just not game in, game out every single game of the season. He's now at a stage where Milner was when he was first kind of on his way out. Milner could play every game for a few seasons. I know he can't. So Henderson's getting to that part now where he's starting that kind of routine. He can only play, maybe 20, 30 games in all competitions throughout the season, but without, we're lucky that Henderson hasn't been as injury prone as he was before he had that thing done to his heel, where he had that injury problem. But yeah, for me, Curtis Jones has a great chance of getting into the team, but not if we buy 3 big midfielders in the summer. If we buy 2, then you're looking at, maybe there's a rotation going on there. We'll see what the story is. But if we buy 3, no, I can't see it. So for me, he's going to set it up for the new players coming in. But I hope Curtis can push into that.
Yeah,
I'm a great lip reader, Jack.
Scouse lip reader, even better. But yeah, no, he's spot on, Nick. For me as well, Jones, there's still, especially when you look at the amount of minutes that Milner, Naby, I know didn't play a lot, Naby, but there was still minutes there. There was a good 15, 20, 25 game, 30 game a season there. I think Jones, there's going to be a lot of, for me, if Liverpool were, we are getting Europa League by the looks of it, he would be what Trent was when we used to play the kids in the cups, in the League Cups and the FA Cups. Curtis Jones will very much, even at the age of 22, will very much cement himself as a senior figure in that team. Especially, it depends how Liverpool prioritise European football next year. If we go strong or we just go with use it as playing a lot of the senior lads, look at Ben Doak, play Curtis Jones, Pacetic. It'd be an excellent experience for them. And of course, the finals in Dublin as well. But for me, I think he will have a massive role, Jones, but I don't think it will be in the starting 11. But if he has the impact in which we've seen over the last couple of weeks, it's a massive asset for the football club. If you've got Jones coming in, impacting games for the last 30 minutes, to say the least, even a 20-minute spell, him and Jota coming on in certain moments. But rotation's got to be key as well, boys. Because how many times, especially if we do get a fit Thiago, we've massively disused Thiago, and hence why he's been getting injured. We know what we were signing when he was at Bayern Munich. He's had these injuries his career. But I think McAllister, as Kev's alluded to, for me, he's the perfect left-sided central midfielder in that 3, alongside, obviously, with Fabinho and Trent behind him, and then you're just looking at that right-hand side, potentially another player filling in there as well. So, yeah, he's so versatile, McAllister. He can play on the left, play on the right, very both-footed as well, playing the 6, playing the 10, and obviously playing even the false 9 if he needed. So he's very adaptable, mate. But Curtis Jones still got a massive career ahead of him, even at the age of 22. But I'll tell you what, if he keeps playing well as he has done in this season, boys, it's up to him. There's an opportunity that has presented itself for Curtis. If he wants to take it off one of the senior players, then the opportunity is there for him.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with you. on that as well. I think what is the major component for me is I think when you look at somebody like a Gini Wijnaldum that we've been crying out for a replacement for him, as you mentioned, Jack, in terms of Curtis. I know Curtis has had like the odd weird injury, certainly around his eye, for example. I think obviously he's spoken very recently about it. But you look at Gini Wijnaldum, I think for every game Gini missed, he played. I think was it like 54 appearances, or like it was like that amount of gap. I think when you look at Ox and Naby's numbers, I think for every game they missed, or for every game they missed, they only played I think like 12 matches or something like that. Like it's a ridiculous gap. Again, you look at McAllister. The last injury he had was back 2 years ago, I believe, as well. So again, and even that I think it was COVID as well at that time. To be fair as well. So again, obviously an interesting time anyway, but. Obviously, Emerson Klopp will want this game put to bed on 70 minutes to give Bobby and Milner a proper send-off. Absolutely, 100%. I will quickly ask for score predictions anyway. Kev, what do you think? First of all, it's a very close game, but what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
Could be a very close game. I mean, Aston Villa, do they have a chance of getting into the Europa League?
Think so, potentially, yeah.
They are joint. I'll quickly get the table up on the right hand side if I can quickly get this up. So they could get Conference League alongside Spurs. So yeah, because Villa are on 57 points, played 36. Spurs also on the same as well.
Oh, goal difference is quite different. It's only two goal difference there, isn't it?
Yeah. So
the conference, the both of them. So us and Brighton at the moment are in the Europa League spots, and
yeah.
So
again, I don't know whether or not if West Ham win the Conference League, I don't know whether or not if that takes a place.
They get
they get Europa League, and then
Europa League.
There's still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It's like if say there was 4 teams and Liverpool won the Champions League.
Yeah, and Everton didn't get the spot. Remember
that? Of course.
But like, yeah, no, but
7-0 as well.
I know. I wanted to say, look, my heart says give us a 5-0 earlier on so we can see Bobby, Milner and Ox come onto the pitch and get a good send off. But my head is probably saying 3-1 to Liverpool.
And Naby Keita to overhead kick and then he injures himself and scores.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Naby and Ox are both out for the game, so they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Okay, so I'll take a 4-0 so and then bring the 2 boys. My head is saying 3-1.
And he's coming out on stretches.
Probably
going around the stand.
But Thiago be fit first before them to be fair.
It's just frustrating. But it's going to be. Obviously, I was listening before I popped in. It's as you already alluded to in chat already. It's going to be one of our most difficult games. I've watched Villa a couple of times over the last couple of weeks since Unai Emery. I think if they get European spots, hopefully we beat them tomorrow. That's the most important thing. But probably is my De Zerbi hit, but mainly Villa. You look how they didn't have a bad squad. It was just that Gerrard really wasn't up to scratch, in all honesty, as we know. But he's elevated them so much up the table. We're like 4th from bottom or in the relegation zone and around there when Unai Emery took over. So I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool. It's going to be one of I think they've only conceded. It's like 4 goals, something stupid from open play. Aston Villa in the last couple of weeks or months. It's ridiculous, in all honesty. Watkins does my head in. Very talented player. We've got to keep him quiet. And Buendia really has stepped up in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, as long as... I think... Is Coutinho out, boys? Or is he...
I think he's fit.
Is he injured? That'll be emotional anyway. He'll obviously probably will present because I know they're very close mates, him and Coutinho, off the pitch. But I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool.
Phil Coutinho is out. He's got,
is he?
He's got a muscle injury. So
it'd be interesting to see if Liverpool and Villa do agree to. Because it'd be nice to see Coutinho on back at Anfield anyway. And considering how I think they are like literally best mates. It's mad how Lucas, obviously the Brazilian contingent, Lucas is very highly regarded amongst all the Brazilian players, not just at Liverpool, but a couple of Newcastle lads as well. So.
absolutely 100%. As Susan says, but yeah, shame the game's not on telly. Yeah, of course. It's a bit crap. Like,
Hopefully that changes next season, Susan. Potentially new TV deal. Oh,
DAZN, I think, buying the 3 p.m. kickoffs. I think,
yeah,
so
sort of
I think
needs to happen. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Days in coming in, are they?
Season potentially. I think the contract is at end next season. I think it is, but that's when the big buyout had happened. But you have like the auction saying games off throughout the season. Go this, but.
Evening Andrew saying breaking news for Cristiano Romano's confirmed. Yeah, McAllister said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just said this. Well, good seeing you, Andrew, as well. But yeah, obviously not here we go just yet. Obviously McAllister, but of course it's massively positive news. I think when we're hearing this type of things as well. I've seen that as well, Andrew. Hope you're well. 2-0 if we are focused, but a tough fight. Yeah. So again, I'm looking at it, of course, like I said earlier on in the stream. Since we lost 7-2, Liverpool haven't lost the game against Villa. We've always won. So
everyone touch wood in your house.
Liverpool around. If Liverpool go straight at them and their passing game's on point, like it has been for the last few weeks now, no matter how good Villa have played, we can tear anybody apart. I'm not saying that in such a bad way or in disrespectful to Villa, but we did it to Spurs. When we started to play against Arsenal, we could have destroyed Arsenal and scored 4 or 5 in the end. We did the same to United. We've done it to City this season. So at Anfield, we're a different breed of animal. It's the last game of the season. People want to see a good send off, and I think the lads will be on their game. So, and it's an emotional game as well for the lads leaving. It's just there's a load of factors that are just playing against Villa right now, and they'd have to really go against the odds.
Be up for it as well.
Yeah, they'd have to really go against the odds to step up against the Liverpool team that are well up for this game, and to give Bobby a good send off. So yeah.
Yeah,
won't be a dry eye. Well, there won't be a dry eye in the place, or even around the world anyway. Where I love him. He is Liverpool's Liverpool legends.
I'll cry in the stream tomorrow. I guarantee you.
I'll be surprised if there's
be sniffing through my beard
on the hot dogs in the cup. Anyway, but yeah, absolutely. Tom's in as well. Hello, Tom. We're doing fantastic. Let me saying evening, Jack. Spider as well. Susan says our team will be great next season. Kelleher staying plenty of games to be played for everyone because of Europa League. Imagine if we get final in Dublin. Again.
Well, that'll be. It won't just be a night game. It'll be a whole 3-week bank holiday. In all honesty, it will be a party anyway.
Score tomorrow 3-1 to Liverpool. I think most people have gone 3-1. No ends went 2-1 as well. I've said 3-1 to Liverpool.
I think we'd all like it, mate, and just want it to be a bit more comfortable than we've seen in recent. Even though it's been great picking up goals, but I think going into next year, if we can just control games, and that's what we've been doing in recent weeks, just controlling games. You watch Manchester City, you won't go, but they are the barometer when you look at how good they have been in the league. If we go 2-3-0 up, just control the game. Don't need to overexert ourselves. Just control the game, bore the team, and just hopefully, and that's where it comes into play in terms of substitutions as well.
Yeah, so we'll imagine if that happened. Firmino scores final goal at the Cop end. That would be. I think that'd end everyone in terms of tearing up. That would be a way to go out. Yeah, absolutely. And Mark saying it would be great. Doug as well. Yeah, absolutely. But guys, big thank you to all of you guys as well. Big thank you to Jack, to Kev for popping on as well. Of course, last game at Anfield for the season as well. It's been it's been ups and downs at Anfield this season, of course. If we look back, of course, obviously Madrid, the Champions League. Don't want to speak about that. Of course, don't want to speak about Leeds. But again,
it's all right. We're all Inter Milan fans. So.
Yeah, no, we are. And again, 7-0. This
and
season,
I'll have me Bournemouth kit on tomorrow, chat as well. Come on, the boys. Come on, the
so like if Bournemouth,
I'm just gonna turn an AC Milan jersey inside out and hope for the best.
No, Jack's gonna buy a Bournemouth kit with Dominic Solanke in the back. That's exactly
Big Dom.
What he's doing.
I'll tell you what, you never know. You might get some extra money out of Liverpool. Might buy Stuart Billen for 70 million if you want. We'll have a bit of money.
Jesus Christ, no. Anyway, but guys, hopefully you have a fantastic rest
of your
Friday as well. Hopefully you have a fantastic weekend. So of course, hopefully Liverpool can help that as well. And yeah, like as Jack said, hopefully we can get Bournemouth to help us on the way to top 4 anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cup Council.
See you
We'll
later.
see you all later on. Ta-ra.
Have a good weekend, everyone.